Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Maswag Visual. In today's video, we are going to have an overview of scheduling in ArchiCAD and how to create quantity schedules or how to prepare our models for quantification. So first things first, the video will be in two parts. First, we'll be covering modeling tips and tricks on how to prepare models for costing and how basically setting up our modeling for costing and quantification and interactive schedules. This will be tips and tricks on all about that. So first things first, I'm going to demonstrate this project with the standard template. With the standard template, ArchiCAD standard template, the workflow is to familiarize ourselves with modeling tips. We're going to model this bachelor pad from scratch up until we get the model set and accessories and everything right and preparing for scheduling. So you'll familiarize at the end of the video. The key takeout is to familiarize ourselves with material calculations and component scheduling. So that's just about it. I'll demonstrate the workflow. So first things first, I'm going to import this bachelor pad. It was done with a DWG, so it was a CAD file. So I done the transition from AutoCAD to ArchiCAD tutorial. So this is going to be a speed build of how to import an AutoCAD file into ArchiCAD. So I'm going to trace, but tracing this, I'm going to trace, bear in mind that I'm going to calculate everything that I'm going to use. Okay, like I said, it's just a quick demo reel and touching a bit of modeling tips and shapes and profiles and using the beam workflow as always, because this is what I advocate for. It's the future and we need to familiarize ourselves with. So in a beam workflow, to model well, we mostly use composites, building materials, and profiles. The use of these attributes is that of achieving at the end of the day a detailed 3D model and clean 2D drawings. So first things first, I'm going to use a composite. So what you do is you select a wall, then you edit the selected components, then you create new, you duplicate, you write the composite as you wish. If it's a double brick wall plaster, you can add a 230mm brickwork, and then the composite that will be included in the composition. You need your plaster, your brickwork, your plaster, those kind of things. But now be measured this type here, that's where you put your measurements. And then if it's a 230 brick, you need to play around with the measurements. This is just basic addition and mathematics. So yeah, that's just basically it. And about compositions, guys. At the end of the day, when you do your sections, they're going to be clean, and this could be quantified as well. I think in the next videos, I'll be quantifying composites. I think I should do that. Quantify compositions of our composites. So that's just about it. I love this attribute very much because it's easy to understand, and it's all about editing and making your own things and modifying. And then I'm going to trace the bachelor pad real quick just so I get the model right. Alright, speed build. Yeah, I think this is just walls, 230 brickwork. Windows as well. Just I'm getting the house real quick, right? So the window is just gonna be simple. Let's move on to a slab. I'm creating the slab composite as well. What you do is you select the standard composite, and then you go edit. It comes up with standard compositions, which you can take for advantage and edit them as you use the ones you want. So basically, if this is not right, you play around with another one, just like that, and you have your tiling at top and stuff. Yeah, you could check around in the section and then play around with that. Open your section and see how the composition comes up. Like I told you, it's just about clean 2D drawings, right? So this is why you need to model well. So we're going to model everything from cornices, ceilings, and trusses, and here now we work in compositions. I don't know, depending on your standard, on how you design wherever you are, you could play around with this composition, you can play around with this composition. So I'm going to edit mine. Slab 100mm thick, I need, yes. So I'm going to choose a tile. Floor tile. Play around with that. And there's a preview here, like there's a preview of everything. If you're editing, there's a preview here. And then you could just play around and insert your materials, the ones you want. And then maybe it's a bit thick, but this is the preview. Play around with the tactile gypsum. Yeah, so this is the standard. That's what I wanted to, and concrete and slab thickening and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's fine in terms of our standard here. So we move on. I told you we're going to model everything. So I'm gonna try to make a foundation line. So already, since I'm in my section, I'm going to play around with the profile of a section before taking it to the profile manager, where I'm going to create a profile for a foundation. So this is the line. So I'm going to take this, go to options, complex profiles, profile manager. That's where it comes up with a lot of profiles. So your models can be improved with this. You could create anything you want through this complex profiles. We have a video of in-depth of how to work with complex profiles. Please go check it out. And this is just the demo reel. I won't be, much of a, I won't dive deep as that video that I already covered. But yeah, this is the workflow, options, property manager and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to place the profile, my profile that I created. Remember from my section, this is it. So I place it. Remember this reference point, very important when we're creating profiles. So this is just a beginner guide, guys, on how to modeling well, complex profiles, composites, and creating custom objects. That's just about today's video, to model well, and now we can customize this and extract your quantities like that. Remember, we use fills in our complex profiles. So you just select a brickwork, follow that line, the line with reference lines. Yes, that's just it. And put your concrete down below. You save your footing. Yeah, foundation footing. That's just it. And then you go place. Remember, now this is below. You create a foundation. So apply. This is our foundation. This is our foundation. custom profile. We have a visual library of these things, guys. You could check them out to speed up your workflows if you don't want to, customize your stuff. So you're going to add this brick wall, the foundation wall below. You create your story. That's how you create your story. And then we need to see on top of our stories, because now we are below. Use the trace reference. Choose a reference, choose above. That's it. And then select your wall. Go to foundation, complex profile. We saved our footing, foundation, footing wall. And then you trace below. Remember the importance of a reference. See, this is the importance of using a reference. So yes, I'm going to speed build and complete this trace and reference. This is just about it. Composites, profiles, and yeah. Okay, fine. I'll speed build. Now I wanted to decide on the type of roofing I could use on this design. I had to decide twice. I had to test the roofs, but I don't like this one. I like this one. So yes, it was a speed build. I'm sorry guys, but I already used this roofing, so I'm going to go with this roof. Now let's design the trusses for this roof. You remember we created a custom truss tutorial on how to create custom roof maker tips and tricks. So what you do, you need a profile as well. We need to profile our roofing, our roof trusses. Need to profile. Okay, that's just it. Enough theory. Now let's just dive into it. I'm going to create my line profiles, to different the lines with different colors. Remember that. And then I'm going to select them, select the framework, and then choose to create truss from the truss maker, hierarchy, design extras, truss maker, and then that's just it. Importance of using differentiate. Then measurements of the trusses, and then you choose timber construction, truss maker attributes, that's just it. Then okay, that's you save your truss 1, save, replace whatever there was there. That is your truss. So this was real quick, it wasn't step by step, but there's a full video in the link in the description where we're covering this in depth. Then you place your truss, and then I think that's how you place your truss. And then you could test it out. Remember placing the layer. If there's no layer, create a layer. Make sure that's the first thing you work with, layer system. So I think here I messed up the beginning. I didn't create my layers. So make sure you create your layers. You could play around with contour pens, structural plans, color your things. So ArchiCAD gives you that flexibility. That's why I love it so much. It's easy, it's changing colors real quick, just by a click of a button. Everything is just by a click of a button here. When you don't have a layer, you go create your layer. Create your layer, and then that's basically it about custom trusses and stuff. And we move on. This is a virtual model, guys, that we are creating, and we want to schedule all these components. Hence why we need to be precise. We need to be we need to pay attention to everything we're modeling. Like these trusses we created, we need to put them in layers and in the right dimensions, in the right place, in the right, in a building construction manner. Different distance between the trusses, you need to know that. This, we are building, we're not drawing. So basically this is why it's called visual models. and BIM as well, build information modeling. We model information. So this model that we are creating, we're going to need information from it. That's the big question. What are we going to use this model for? So we could use this model for a lot of things. If at all you remember the dimension of BIM video as what information do you want from the model? But anyway, you could do your quantities using this model, real life quantities, like real life quantities. So hence why we need to model accordingly, and later on in schedules we could put cost components to our elements and stuff. And then yes, so if in our ceiling stuff, in our ceiling process, just create a ceiling, a slab. I think we'd use just a slab and then put a layer of a ceiling and then the right dimensions of a ceiling, and then that's just it. And then going on to cornices. Cornices, there's already a profile for cornice here. I think I created it. So just select a cornice. The same way of selecting the profiles of creating a profile, you create a profile of using a cornice. Like that's just basically how complex profiles work. You need to have an ideal, design you want. Then you just trace your profiles and create the profile. So remember as well, create layers of the cornice, and then just place it around the corners of the house, of the ceiling, and then that's just it. Alright, and then now we're going to add the roofing accessories. The roofing accessories of our roof is just, I think in the basic ArchiCAD doesn't, you need to add the ArchiCAD 24 accessories or the ArchiCAD 25 accessories and add-ons. You need to choose that as well, and then that's when you could play around with the roofing accessories. Okay, select the roof, design, roof extras, design extras, roof accessories, and then that's it. Roof safer, surfacer 24. You create. This is more detailed finish. Roof finish. Remember, there's no layer. Create a layer if there's no layer. Real quick, Control L, new roof layer, roof finish. This is just for organization of your models, guys. Organizing your model elements. Layers are just metadata and have value and purpose. Very, very important. For later on, when you're saving views, you're when you're creating layer combinations and saving views. Alright, select the roof. Go back. Now we can go to our accessory. But before we go there, we can play around with our composition first. Remember the roof compositions and the material compositions? We can play around with the roof compositions and how you want it to come out. Like in construction, you need to have an insulation, stuff like that. So I'm gonna create this profile and remove this, play around with your type of composition of the roofing style. You can remove skins, add skins. That's just it. Okay. I love it the way this is. Call roof insulation because I named it. I removed the thickness. Now it's much perfect now. And then I'm going to add an accessory on top. Select design extras, accessories, roof edge. That's just it. I created a layer. Roof finish. So I'm going to use, what should I use? Corrugated. Okay, detailed. That's how you add. Yep. All right. I think we've modeled everything that needs to be quantified, that needs to be listed. You can play around with color of your design. No, okay, let's add palines. We need to add palines to our design, our roofing, ceiling palines, and roofing palines. Place. There's an object for this. It's the wonders of ArchiCAD. We keep on advancing. It's on one of the pioneers of Beam software. You place your palings that are going to hold the trusses and the roof finish, and then the palings that are going to have the trusses and the ceiling. That's just basic construction, roof construction, and yes. Okay. I'm happy. That was just a quick demo reel. So now you can quantify your roof. Like when someone asks, how much is this roof going to cost? You could play around with this. You could schedule this and send to your QS, quantity surveyor, and see this with measurement and a visual estimate. I think we've done quite well, and I like it, and it's fine. Now let's dive deep into scheduling. This is where we call it the 5D. So we are from 3D, now we are into 5D. This is all about, ArchiCAD comes with a standard scheduling where you could just run through your reports and say wall schedule, and it'll come up wall schedules. Like this is all your walls that you used with parameters and volumes. And now if you want to go deeper, you could add the cost component, the ratings, and all that. So that's the importance of reporting in ArchiCAD. That's just the beginner guide in reporting. You can report about your doors or openings. I remember in AutoCAD, there used to be a problem on doing door schedules for big houses or big project offices. That used to be a problem. Scheduling big projects, that was a big problem in terms of windows and door schedules. Aye, man, that was a problem. And AutoCAD. Okay. But anyway, it's nice that AutoCAD, all you need to do is model and all the schedules are being built on the background. It's amazing. And then all you need to do is to come and play with the scheme settings and remove whatever you don't want and customize. That's where the power is. And it's amazing. The power of just going to scheme settings and customizing what you don't want and removing, adding new fields, and scheduling according to criteria you want. Scheduling to, let's say, you can schedule things according to layers, guys. You can schedule things according to your classifications. That's just the beauty of ArchiCAD in terms of reporting. All you need to do is pull reports of every component that you were using. It's amazing. It's amazing. So in terms of doors and schedules, openings, these are just standard schedules which ArchiCAD comes with. In MS Beam template, there's I think more than 25 reports in terms of we schedule brick walls, we schedule foundation walls, we schedule a lot of quite a things. So if you have no time, you could get the MS Beam schedule or template, accessories, play around with it. And then you can go ahead and play with inventory, object inventory. You can schedule those trusses that you're creating via this. So, and then you could schedule things by components as well. There's a difference between elements and components. That's what you need to know. All right, components. I think we have a lot of things included here. We have concrete, brick, timber, insulation. Those insulation things that we've been talking about, we've been using in composites. I think they're being scheduled here. The sand, the gravel, it's all in the composites. All in the composites, the plaster, gypsum, all in the composites that we're creating. Remember the composites we created? Yes, this is where now you could play around with it. And I think this is, the skin component and project composition, skin areas. This is where MS Beam 5D concentrates more. So it'll help you in terms of just simplifying your budget and cost analysis. It'll help you have a clear vision of your budgetary offshots, minimize cost reporting, and budgetary offshot. This will help you in terms of doing that and providing real-time cost 3D visualization. So this is where ArchiCAD now, I think, meets the logistics. It's where we deal with the logistics of materials within ArchiCAD. That's what I wanted to say. So this was a beginner guide in terms of scheduling, guys. We could schedule quite a lot of things. We could do reporting about a lot of things. We could report about finishes. I think there's an in-depth video about where we were doing finishes. So imagine all the models that we are doing, the paintings, the materials we are using. Now you could just extract and know the areas and stuff. So this would help really in terms of procurement for such, in terms of if we really wanted to dive deep into 5D Beam, or you want to set up your office into this type of specifications. Yeah, this is a beginner guide for you. This is where you could get started. Yeah, I think that was just a beginner guide in terms of modeling to 5D. Our ideal vision of the MS Beam template is to help you guys in terms of this, dedicating our energy into creating tutorials like this, templates, resources like this. Yeah, I think you could get yourself the MS Beam template to dedicate your time into design, and the documentation coordination part will be made faster, and this will keep your work consistent across all projects. If you're not, check out this template. This file, since it was a standard template, ArchiCAD template, it will be in the link in the description for our Patreon subscribers. You could go get it in the Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon to have it. And please like and subscribe. Share the video. Thank you for the feedback and amazing interactions we've been having. This is for you guys. Stay creative. See you in the next video. Bye for now.